Go again.
Be open to the...
Sorry, the camera cut out again. Go again.
Yeah, so the directors... Well, the directors... Be able to put the director has the overall say.
Yeah.
That's something.
But then when...
But thoughts in their room, having passion behind your performance, this is your piece that you're directing, but I felt that wasn't there, so everyone seemed like we were treading on toes, but it's because we had the limited time to create this performance.
Yeah, just going back to it, where I've worked with a director and we've been on the same level, because we worked with a director on the same level,
yeah.
we all had good ideas.
Yeah.
Where when we worked with a director, our actual director,
She
had her own. She had so much experience in the industry, and she sort of knew what she was doing. And we all had good ideas for Ivan Minger and other stuff.
Yeah.
We put them forwards,
yeah.
but it was her overall say.
I think it's the importance of directors' eye
yeah.
and artistic vision, which was the priority week that we was leading into.
Yeah, so this leads into...
It's what we saw and how we view, well, our personal, I think this should happen. We had to keep the script, but in terms of what the staging was going to be, like the initial idea was chairs to show housing because we had no budget and we wanted to.
It's all a process.
Yeah, it's working with ideas.
Process. All this acting stuff, it's all a process.
Yeah.
I found myself as I was doing coursework and writing. It's going to be on the website again. It's all a process. Everything idea goes into this, idea goes this, casting, and then eventually a staging thing. It's all a process of casting, picking, and choosing, and we've done it so many times. You know what I mean? And doing this task does give you a lot.
I think it's nice to see the other side of things.
Yeah.
So we always walk in the room as the actors.
But now we're the directors.
And now we have our own
artistic
sort of view
vision.
of what it's like to be a director, and what it's like when you cast, and just have that sense. I think it's really beneficial to have that tool to be like, yeah, just being able to see the other side. Because then when you watch videos of yourself in reflection, is to know what someone else is seeing, being able to distance from yourself, be able to watch yourself in neutral, be able to give yourself criticisms and ways of improvement, what works, what didn't. I think that really, in the rehearse, that was really apparent. Yeah.
How do you think the performance went? Because we put up the staging. We cast everything. We've had 3 days. I think 3 days to get it ready.
Yeah.
So we did.
Well, we got given 2 days, but it was. We felt that we needed another day, so a few of us collated and came into the theatre
on a Monday
to have more time.
Stuff that some people were, and then it still showed that some people hadn't had that time, and some people did have that time.
Yeah, it's the availability. But for that, we decided costuming, which again we said that costuming would be a token costume similar to I'm a Minger, and then seating. The original idea was to have seating the same as what I'm a Minger. Well, the idea of it being on this side, but that again on the day of the performance.
On the day of the performance, we completely changed the staging because there was 19 of us.
Changed.
Yeah, because there was 19 of us. Like
the space that we were performing in changed.
Everything changed. Like in this room, we had 2 chairs. In this room, 2 chairs. Meg Doris's house, 2 chairs. UK's.
Yeah, the house was like this.
This time we had literal walls going up.
Yeah.
And then it said Meg Doris's house, UK empty house.
Yeah.
And where now we had to adapt quickly we had to sit behind the walls.
It all happened.
It all come together in the like.
But we changed the staging. We decided with the seating where we had the walls as the houses, that when we were off stage, that we'd have a wing. Everyone would go, if you didn't come until the second act, which was the part of the script that we wrote by ourselves, that you would stay in the wing. If you were on and off stage, you would through Act 1 you would be behind the houses, and that completely changed. So we'd done a speed run quite quickly, and then
A speed.
A speed
Yeah.
run, to say, and then the performance. So
we
had more opportunity to run through the performance than we did in I'm a Minger. I'm a Minger, we done the cold read,
set up a stage.
Before we didn't actually do a rehearsal read sitting down. We had more time in a sense, but where it was our first time independent, it felt like less time, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So the actual performance, I think, went pretty. I think we spoke about afterwards, but the actual performance went very confused stylistically. Like there was so many cooks in the room.
Yeah.
That it was
really
like one cook was creating Chinese food, the other was creating Indian food, and it sort of smashed them together. And then it comes back to my own thing about how if I don't sort of think, if I think it's a good idea and no one else is, I do my own thing. Like I was me and another person who had their shirts off to play a Roman character. Oh, we wore the togas?
Togas, yeah.
Togas as Roman costumes.
That was our token.
And that was our like sort of token characters. And I was the only one who, I think All Out was just me. And Nathan, the actor, wore a bra for it to be sort of a funny thing. But it was only me.
He was playing a female character.
Yeah, he was playing a female character. I think that was more for him to be token, but it was me sort of being like, I know this is a good idea. Why isn't everyone else doing this a good idea?
I think it's then, for you in reflection is, did you put that idea in the room?
Yeah, I spoke to a few people and they was like,
but it's addressing the whole.
Yeah, I spoke to a few people. No, I think it went round a few times. I think a lot of people noticed it in the room. Like, I'm going to go for that here.
And then again, I think for me, you saying that, it goes back to if it's either everyone does it or no one does it.
Yeah.
You've all got, you're a company, everyone does
it.
Yeah,
it's a bad.
You did that, and then say if I'd had then done that, or I'd done that on an independent full, being a female.
Yeah, it does.
It completely changes what's happening.
Yeah, that is, like I've said, it's a bad habit.
Yeah.
It is a bad habit that I have, and it was. I don't
think that's a bad. What you did with the going all for it, being like, I want to just have my toga on. I want to have just my robe on. I don't think that's bad in the slightest. I think the confusion came is not everyone did it.
Yeah.
And say if I had done that on my own and just taken off my top and had my toga on, the attitude, I think, would be different.
Yeah, I think.
Not like what you've done is like a funny thing to do. It was perceived as funny, but what you was doing wasn't intentionally funny.
It wasn't a part of the company.
The professionalism wasn't there when that was thought was funny. What you was doing is you was being fully committed to the role.
Yeah.
And I think if I'd done that, I would have been slated for doing that, or I would have got a different label. If you understand what I mean, I wouldn't have been classed as funny. I would have been.
What are you talking about? More gender.
More gender. Yeah.
More gender. I knew that it was a bit of a bad idea.
I still don't think it's a bad idea.
But like we go back to styles.
Yeah.
One of the notes from our director afterwards was, "Why did you take your shirt off?
Yeah.
Why did you take your shirt off?" And I said, "Well, I just decided I'd go full out." And
I don't think what you did was wrong. It's the
way I did it. Would you say?
The independent fault. I know if you say that you're trying to address everyone, you spoke to a few people,
and he's like,
it's to actually again put your voice in the room.
And
being like everyone, or plan that in advance, like say the night before, or when we came into the theatre to be. I think this is a good idea. Can everyone? Does everyone agree?
Yeah, and that's a separate issue. But
if not,
being heard in a room is another thing.
Yeah.
I just sort of felt that it'd be shut down.
So you didn't feel the need to address it. But then for you, as you've been the only one to take your put your toga on, take top off, is no one else is doing it. Perhaps it will look odd if I've done that. Although I do think it's a good idea. Again, changing your idea.
Yeah, I did still.
But in that scenario, I think what you did was your attitude towards it to go full out was good, and that's not the negative of it.
The negative
of it or the place to improve is make sure everyone's on board.
Yeah, being with the company.
Because everyone was on board and wearing togas.
But to go full costume out was a different sort of separate issue. It was my own stubbornness, my own pride, my own sort of take on it, and I'm constantly reflecting on how I am in a room, constantly reflecting how I am in a company, in a workspace, in sort of there, and for me to do that, it worked. I think the one thing that worked was I was more on it than someone else, and it should be.
It made an imbalance on. That's like the confusion of what the style was.
Yeah, even though I never got a note to say how I did a great job. No, you don't.
It was an overall thing. So I think for us was with the we got the notes we got given was the energy was great. It's learning how to cap it because we had such energy that there wasn't a change.
And if we just ground ourselves,
there wasn't a change in so a confusing pace of tempo, which was something that looking
it was like we're doing a speed run again. It was literally felt like we're doing a speed run.
It felt faster than the speed run. Was a lot of
we felt faster than the speed run.
Yeah. So and
people just wanted to get off the stage, essentially.
But another thing was the comedy is timing. Comedy is timing and rhythm, which when we're doing we're doing a show up London and we're doing a comedy piece, and to look forward we need to work on our comedy and how our comedy works. Whether it's we don't want our comedy to be cringy and forced, we want it to feel natural, and we want it to be natural. And I think if and that was another thing, a note that really happened was said was, if you don't play the tragedy in a comedy, it isn't comedy. So it's a difference between comedy and cartoon.
Yeah.
Like you do need the tragedy was that Euclio couldn't go a moment without checking his pot of gold, and that was the tragedy.
That's the tragedy about it.
But the comedy in it was the fact that there's someone that can't take a moment without looking at their pot of gold, and it's being able to play that. And with Luke with the costuming, is everyone doing it or no one at all? And that was a constant thing. Was everyone playing character, or was no one playing character? How there was different. What I'm trying to say, with some characters, with Euclio's character, he was very much a cartoon, I would say. However, my character being a mother was very naturalistic. So it was what's happening.
I think
we need to communicate.
Next time we need to agree on a style. I think that's one of them.
And if we're going for no budget, to address as a no budget, to actually address.
It's difficult to work in a space where there's 19 of you.
I think for our first attempt,
it didn't go. It wasn't horrendous.
No, we were able to put on a performance.
Yeah.
Again, that was good. We off script.
Off script. Yeah, most of us. Yeah, off script.
No, all of us.
Yeah, it was.
We improved from. We'd made further progression from I'm a Minger, where we was on script, to one up this. We were off script.
Because we didn't
have a director.
Yeah, we didn't have a director.
We were able to do a casting process. Rehearsal.
Going back to the artistic
some of us being able to direct. Artistic view.
And then there's a lot of artistic views to go along with it.
Finding the balance. It's always everything.
Yeah. Like one person added rules to some of the scenes. Like he could only move forwards and he could only use back, and that was like a sense of panto comedy sort of rules and stuff. Where someone else was just like, you should just maybe improv it a little bit.
The game.
Yeah, you maybe just play the game a little bit more. Where like not having a director in the room is very sort of difficult sometimes, because as humans we sort
of. But in creating your own work, director's not going to be always available.
Yeah.
So it's to have that director's eye and becoming the director for yourself.
And the company. Remember,
But I literally,
me and you were directors, and he was a director, and he was a director, and we might see different things and perspectives and changing. Like I think comedy, my own comedy is a bit of stupid improv that I enjoy, that I love, that I think is just hilarious. Where some people might like a structure to it, you know? Everyone has their own sort of point on comedy. Which leads us into the last bit, which was afterwards we moved on to our week, which is the director's eye and artistic vision. And what our first task was, after we performed this, it sort of led to its own sort of little bit. So our director sat us down and asked us if she's given us the feedback to answer if we knew we was self-aware about the feedback she was giving us. So was we aware it wasn't playful enough? Was you aware it wasn't playful enough? Was you aware?
At that point,
was you aware that it had a confusing style? Didn't play on the costume.
that was an issue.
That was a personal. I didn't play on the costume. I played because if everyone, like, that was a point. If everyone in the room is wearing a toga with a shirt on, it sort of plays on the this is a no budget sort of tongue in cheek